Imagine closing on your dream home, only to find a brand new housing impact fee tacked on by your city. Or being a landlord enjoying strong rental returns until a sudden vacancy tax wipes out your profit. Welcome to real estate in 2025, where the rules are being rewritten faster than ever. Across North America and beyond, governments are tightening controls, tweaking tax laws, and rewriting housing regulations to tackle affordability, fairness, and transparency. But these policies, while well-intentioned, are also reshaping investment strategies, pricing dynamics, and long-term housing supply. Whether you're a buyer, seller, or investor, understanding the evolving regulatory and tax environment has never been more critical. Because in today's market, the biggest factor driving change might not be interest rates or inflation. It's legislation. 1. The policy earthquake. Why regulation is changing so fast. The post-pandemic housing boom left governments with a complicated legacy: skyrocketing home prices, widening inequality, and shrinking affordability. As prices outpaced income, pressure mounted on policymakers to do something. That something has taken many forms: new vacancy and speculation taxes aimed at curbing investor-driven demand, foreign buyer restrictions to cool overheated markets, zoning reforms to increase housing supply in urban cores, and short-term rental regulations to push homes back into the long-term market. From Canada's foreign buyer ban to California's mansion tax, 2025 is witnessing the rise of active interventionism, where governments use tax tools and regulation to steer the housing market's behavior. But this wave of reform is doing more than just cooling speculation. It's rewriting the real estate playbook. 2. Taxation as a market steering tool. Taxation has become one of the most powerful levers in real estate policy. Let's break down the key trends shaping 2025. Vacancy and speculation taxes. Cities like Vancouver, Toronto, and now Los Angeles have implemented or expanded taxes on empty homes to discourage property hoarding and encourage rental availability. While these measures have successfully brought some units back to market, they've also added compliance complexity for owners, especially those managing multiple properties. Foreign buyer restrictions. Countries like Canada, New Zealand, and parts of Europe have tightened rules for non-resident buyers seeking to cool speculative demand. While it's slowed some international investment, critics argue it's a symbolic fix to deeper supply issues. Luxury and mansion taxes. To target high-end markets, states like California and New York introduced mansion taxes, extra levies on properties above a certain price. These taxes are designed to fund affordable housing but have slowed transactions in the upper-tier market. Short-term rental regulations. Cities are cracking down on platforms like Airbnb and Vrbo, requiring registration, limiting rental days, or imposing steep fines for illegal listings. This aims to protect long-term rental stock, but hits small investors who rely on short-term income. Incentives for affordable and green housing. Not all policies are punitive. Many governments are introducing tax credits and rebates for energy-efficient retrofits, affordable housing developments, and ADU construction. These encourage sustainability and help bridge the affordability gap. Together, these tax shifts are redefining what makes a property profitable. Smart investors are adapting, not by chasing loopholes, but by aligning with new priorities: affordability, sustainability, and compliance. 3. The rise of transparency and fair practice. Rules beyond taxes. Regulatory agencies are focusing on transparency and consumer protection in real estate transactions. Key developments include MLS and commission reforms. The long-standing structure of realtor commissions is under scrutiny. Lawsuits and settlements are leading to new rules about buyer-agent compensation transparency. Anti-money laundering (AML) measures. Governments are tightening beneficial ownership registries to track who really owns properties, a move to curb foreign capital flow and fraud. Tenant protection laws, rent control, eviction restrictions, and repair regulations are expanding in cities like New York, Vancouver, and Toronto to balance landlord-tenant dynamics. While these reforms improve fairness, They also increase bureaucratic friction. Paperwork, reporting requirements, and compliance costs are rising, particularly for landlords and developers. However, these policies are also forcing modernization in an industry that's long resisted digital transformation. Digital title systems, transparent listing databases, and standardized disclosures are making the sector more data-driven and accountable. 4. Zoning reforms and density policies. Zoning, once a slow-moving aspect of city planning, has become one of the hottest regulatory battlegrounds. Cities are realizing that restrictive single-family zoning is one of the biggest obstacles to affordability and density. The response: sweeping reform. Minneapolis, Portland, and Calgary have all restructured zoning codes to allow duplexes, triplexes, and garden suites in traditionally single-family zones. California's SB 9 allows homeowners to split lots and build multiple units. Toronto's multiplex reform permits up to 4 units on most residential lots. These changes promote gentle density, encouraging infill housing, ADUs, and mid-rise developments to utilize existing infrastructure. While critics fear neighborhood character loss, the trend reflects a fundamental policy shift. Governments are no longer waiting for the market to fix supply. They're rewriting land use rules to create it. 5. The investor's dilemma: regulation versus opportunity. For real estate investors, the evolving regulatory landscape is both a challenge and an opportunity. Challenge: new taxes and rules add uncertainty and cut into profit margins. Opportunity: investors who adapt early can benefit from incentives for affordable, sustainable, or multi-unit housing. For example, developers focusing on energy-efficient or mixed-use projects may qualify for tax breaks. Homeowners adding ADUs or secondary suites can boost value while aligning with zoning reform. Institutional investors are shifting toward build-to-rent and sustainable multifamily developments as safe long-term bets. In 2025, agility is everything. The old formula of buy and hold, no questions asked, no longer works. The new mantra is buy smart, comply fast, and build for tomorrow. 6. Global parallels: a widening policy divide. While Western markets are tightening, some regions are taking the opposite approach. Emerging economies like India, Vietnam, and parts of the Middle East are liberalizing real estate investment rules to attract foreign capital. Meanwhile, Europe, Canada, and the US are leaning toward regulation to stabilize affordability. This divergence is creating a global policy split, where capital flows toward less regulated markets, while developed economies double down on housing fairness. Smart investors are now assessing not just location and demand, but regulatory stability as a key factor in risk assessment. 7. What's next? Predicting the policy wave ahead. Looking forward, expect more local-level taxation. Cities will continue introducing targeted levies to raise housing revenue. Digital compliance systems, AI-driven monitoring for short-term rentals, property taxes, and green standards. Progressive ownership models, fractional, co-ownership, and community housing structures supported by policy. Climate-related mandates, building performance standards, and carbon taxes influencing construction design. By 2030, real estate regulation will likely be smarter, greener, and far more data-dependent, rewarding transparency and punishing inefficiency. Conclusion: the rulebook has changed. Are you ready? The real estate game is evolving, and the winners will be those who understand the new rules before everyone else does. Taxes, zoning, and transparency aren't just bureaucratic hurdles. They're the new foundation of value. Those who embrace compliance, sustainability, and innovation will thrive in this new era. Governments may be rewriting the policies, but the future of housing still belongs to the adaptable, informed, and forward-thinking. Your turn. Do you think these new housing regulations are helping or hurting affordability? Share your view below, because the conversation about real estate's future isn't just political, it's personal.